dečki, i pravime reakcija One Night at Flumpty 3. Ajde, da počnemo sa reakcijata. Знаете, ova igra sam ja video duri odavno koga youtuberite počnele od 2015. Ajde da počnemo je podnapred. Ide, da, znaš koga. Dobro. To biše jasno. Ajde počnemo. Ovo je dobra pesma. Bravo. Znate, ova igra je poslednata. I ovo je tačno za nego. To je pravo mnogo dolgo igri. Znate, vi je. Da. Dobro. To je to. To biš. YouTuber odšao. Сега ќе ти каже
Years ago, I deleted a video with this thumbnail because it
Čekaj, ajde сега ќе почне. 3, 2, 1.
Followed the announcement of a game I didn't end up finishing. But now that matters have dramatically changed, I think it's time to replace that video with a new one. One Night at Flumpty's 3 is real, it's not a prank, and I'm going to tell you about that in as much detail as I reasonably can. I was checking my emails one day, took a glance in the trash folder of all places, and discovered an email from Scott Cawthon. I had to make sure it was really him, and the moment I did, I changed my email filters to ensure he never somehow ended up in my trash again. Basically, Scott was getting in contact with some FNAF fan game developers and wanted to arrange a system where we could profit from our creations, have them be officially ported to major platforms, and potentially also receive merch. Obviously, I said heck yeah, and we exchanged a number of emails back and forth discussing the finer details, which I can't talk about because I signed an NDA. I can say that Scott never told me to make a third Flumpty's game, but he told me I could if I wanted to, and I knew if there was ever a time for me to do it, this was that time. If you remember, back in the Flumpty's 2 developer commentary, I said, if I made a hard-boiled mode of the first One Night at Flumpty's, which I won't, and will there be a One Night at Flumpty's 3? I can't entirely dismiss the possibility of one, but I don't think I'll make one. Which I fully believed at the time. But no one could have seen the Fazbear Fanverse initiative coming, and it is the whole reason I changed my mind. I was still super hesitant about the idea of making a third game. I wasn't sure I would actually do it, but after wrestling with the plans for a good long while, I wholeheartedly believe now that Flumpty's 3 will at least live up to the other two games, and hopefully even be a little better, but you can be the judge of that when it comes out. The thing is, I wasn't in charge of when Scott would make the big announcement post on Reddit, and I'm also not in charge of when Flumpty's 3 will release, because it'll have to be at around the same time as the multi-platform ports release, assuming those are successful, and the porting process is going to take a while. This is nobody's fault, but it does scare me a little, because in the lengthy time it takes before Flumpty's 3 comes out, I don't want to accidentally overhype what is going to be a pretty short game. I don't want fans to think it'll be bigger than it actually is. Like, people were upset when Nintendo put out a mini direct, and that was after they tempered everyone's expectations as much as possible, so imagine what the reaction would have been if they hadn't done that. I'm excited about this game. I really am, and I want you to be excited about it too. I just want you to know what to be excited for, I guess. The basic rundown is, One Night at Flumpty's 3 will be a new game with new mechanics that keeps with the short
Bravo. Bravo za te. Preja. Slovo.
form structure of the first two. I feel like that's kind of what makes them special. The game is fully planned out, and I won't be taking suggestions. You can expect one night, a hard-boiled mode, and almost nothing resembling a plot. I'm also not avoiding using any colors. I'm surprised how many people have asked about that, but I do plan on there being a theme to the colors I use the most. A few ideas from the cancelled 1 week at Flumpty's plans will carry over. I'm not going to say which ones, but I'll tell you some of what won't make the cut, and basically I'm not bringing back any of my past attempts to force lore into this goofy series. I'm not giving the characters backstories. I'm not including the Champ or Chump characters whose existence relied entirely on the cancelled story, and I don't even feel bad about that because they were just discount eyesores anyway. I also won't be using the blind monster idea I had for Flumpty's 2. I tried to work a blind monster into the plans for the new one, but there just isn't a place for it, so if I ever use that idea, it won't be for a FNAF clone. I'm developing One Night at Flumpty's 3 with the intent of it being the final game. From my perspective, this game is more like a side project to tie up a loose end, and it's not one of the main things I'm working on. It won't be a direct parallel of Five Nights at Freddy's 3, but it will have security cameras because, to me, those define the gameplay of FNAF more than anything else. Part of the reason I'd really like to end on 3 is because, honestly, I miss the closure that we all felt when FNAF 3 came out. It wrapped things up so nicely, most of us weren't expecting another game, and I still think the first 3 games are the best ones. Keep in mind, despite it all, I'm actually not much of a FNAF fan anymore, and I mean no disrespect to Scott Cawthon. He is an amazing guy who I am eternally grateful for, but there are a lot of other games and genres I just have more passion for. You should read Scott's Reddit post for a few more details. Expect more teasers eventually on Twitter. I'm not sure exactly when because I don't know when the release date will be. Hopefully this year, but it could go into next year. And I'd love to wind down and not focus my work or my social presence exclusively on Flumpty in that time. I hope that's understandable. I'll add that I'm probably done with the short 1 week at Flumpty's April Fool's animations as well, or at least if I continued those, I'd call them something else, because I want them to end on a 3 as well. The reason they were yearly is because I'm just tired of doing Flumpty's voice. It's not as fun or as easy as it used to be, and I think it would get tiring to hear it too much anyway, so I'm sorry that I'm most likely going to be done with Flumpty's, and this game is kind of a bonus, but I really would like to believe that I'm more than just the Flumpty guy or the Riddle School guy, and I want to try and do other things too. Anyway, thank you for listening. This might be the last update for a while, so I'll see you when I see you. Take care, everyone.
Dobro. Stavite like, stavite dislike, a nije se gledame nagraj na to video. Peace.